So, hey, you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm stopping by here very quickly, and y'all, really, seriously, I always say this, but I mean it today. So, I'm just not getting up, and I'm about to go do some teas. There's been this restaurant closed down for like a couple of days, maybe even like a week, and I want to go see if they're open. So, it's like, let me get out of here before it gets too hot. So I want to talk about a few things. And one of the things that, I want to talk about now, if you don't know, like prying eyes are basically people that are like they're like overly curious of other people's personal affairs. Like let me go see what's going on. I got to see what's going on. And they're not wanting to offer any type of assistance. They don't care to offer any type of assistance. They just care about knowing your information, knowing your business and using it for their advantages, and whatever that may be. But another term for prying eye, for me, slangly, I use it for people who has a certain look to their eyes, as if they're like, what's going on here? Right? And even when you're looking at them, you're asking yourself, what's going on here? Like their eyes are telling it all. Like your eyes really tell it all. And so either way, I noticed something, you guys, and I've mentioned this before, and I will say it again very lightly, very politely, very simple. I didn't realize how in need the world is of authentic, genuine people. I did not realize how in dire need the world is, in need of real spiritually awakened people who do not come from a household of trauma. And if they do have a household that's built with trauma, that they've worked out these issues, because of course there are spirits like guardian spirits, right? Let's talk about this. Guardian angels and stuff is one good example that are always there to assist us, right? They're always there. A lot of times when we're getting ideas about things and people, places, and things, it is our guardian angels giving us these insights. These are the middleman between ourselves and the creator, right? And so either way, when you're healed and you're whole and you have a sound mind, what do you do with sound? You hear it. When you have a sound mind, things come to you. It's things that's outside of your own experience, right? Because people say everything is based off of everybody's personal perception. I agree to disagree. I partly agree with that, and I partly disagree with that. Yes, your environment does shape your mentality. Yes, your environment does shape, how you think, how you process things. But also on the flip side of that, you also have a spirit guide. You also have an inner dialogue. You also have something that guides you through this plane. And so when you're ready, it shows up. And it's something that's been around for a very long time. And so, like I said, I've noticed that there's a lot going on, and I want to discuss it. So we came out with Beyond the 11th Gate. And like I said, we're going to keep this very short because, I don't want people to be like, who, he, who, what we talking about? So I came out with Beyond the 11th Gate because I wanted to tackle things that appeared to be authentic spiritually, but it was a facade, like it was fake. Like people were using the mind of people who, how would I say, the gullible. Okay, the people, the gullibility, the easily impressed, right? Can we talk about it? Hello? Can we talk about it? And they use, certain, coys and certain, games and tricks to convince them, right? And so that's what I wanted to focus on. And a lot of stuff that I was finding, I was like, oh girl, this is like opening a deeper rabbit hole. And I feel like YouTube kind of monitors what you put out there. And I've never wanted to make a Patreon before, but I'm like, I may get into that because what I thought today really made me say, you know what? I want to tackle in on some teas. I want to really get back and do Beyond Left the Gate. Midnight Mental, like that that's going to be something totally different. I just said we're going to do the final, episode or two on that because I do have 2 recordings, already there. But yeah, Beyond the Gate is something I'm going to really get into because I'm seeing some fuckery. Now, there is somebody that created a podcast, and the podcast is based on spiritual interpretations of the of an ancient excuse me, how would I say this? It is a interpretation, allegedly, of an of a idea that we have. There's a place somewhere in the ethers that supersedes, religion, spaces of time. I mean, everything is documented. I guess you call it like the true life as well. That'd be another word for saying it. And so they're alleging that they're able to interpret this information. And this gets very dangerous, y'all, because I always say one thing about me is, like, if you're going to touch into spiritual energy, like, make sure your shit is together, because when you start tapping it with certain energies, it starts to fuck you up and everybody around you that you start, trying to feed this information to. And so either way, this person I'm looking at, they appear to be an older person, but, and they're into the natural products and stuff. But I'm not really seeing, the usage of these personal products. I think it's a trendy thing, which makes sense why they would even come out with this podcast. And either way, they're using Chat GBT. Okay, they're using Chat GPT. It's not GPT, right? It's GPT, and they're using this energy to tell you from this so-called ancient place, right? This place that we've all had knowledge of since at least the 19th century. Can we talk about it? And they're using this energy or this tool to interpret for them the energies that are at hand. Now, I told y'all that y'all thought I was joking. Y'all thought this was a joke. Y'all thought this was cute. You thought I'm just talking to talk a lot of y'all said talk out my motherfucking ass. Like I said, baby, listen. Girl, if you want to get in a deep ass water, okay, unless you own retainment, can we talk about it? Hello? Because the conversations and the advice I be giving 99% of the times be free. I don't be charging for it. Okay, and I'm not hoping to sell anything to you as well. I put stuff out. If you're interested or not, baby, we keep it pushing. Honey, ain't no tea, ain't no shade with that, baby. No ma'am. Listen. I don't chase. I'm not desperate. It finds, it attracts. Can we talk about it? And so either way, I told you guys that people were doing a test study. They were figuring out what was the algorithms? What was the systems? What were people doing? What are people doing? What is trendy right now? And then they take whatever's trendy and they basically turn it into a profit. So they'll take everybody's ideas, everybody's concepts, and they'll put it together and they'll push it through with somebody who appears to be, like, let's say, a scholar. And I say appears because a lot of them will be older. And the people say, oh, she must have a lot of wisdom. She's been here for a long time. And it's like, girl, no. So either way, I told y'all that they're infiltrating. They're trying to fuck with people's common sense, aka spiritual insight. Can we talk about this? A lot of people don't have common sense. They said common sense is not so common. Duh. Because a lot of people don't have an inner voice, an inner dialogue. So all the answers are starting to really come forward. But ChatGPT is a system that were made by man, just like Google. If you don't know this, I'm going to spoil it for you now. Google is a database, a system, kind of like an AI as well, that information was fed to it, and how it got the information. When people got onto a Google, and I can't remember the name of the company that owned Google. There's a certain name. It might even be Google something Inc. But either way, when you get on the internet that is connected to or sponsored by this program, anything that you put on the internet, it stores. It never erases. And it stores it into a database. So now when someone else come along and they type in, let's say for an example, you're uploading content, you're feeding this energy, gold candles with sprinkles, everybody typing the gold candle with sprinkles, everybody typing the shit in, right? Eventually somebody come along, they stop typing it in, then they type in, what does gold with sprinkles look like? And guess what Google suggests? Gold candles with sprinkles. So the person's like, wait a minute, that's not what I asked for. And I know y'all remember this back in like the early times where Google was really coming out. That would happen. You would Google lollipops and they're showing somebody doing something else. So either way, that's how that works. The same thing with Chat GPT, right? Chat GPT. This is not a spirit that got downloaded into a system, and these people are trying to harness the system and give information to people to fuck up their system. This is people feeding energy to a system, and the system is interpreting it. So you don't have to go to India to research what is a nettle leaf. You don't have to go over there to South America and see what spirits are over the Amazon forest, right? All this information has been uploaded, has been fed throughout the years through Ask Jeeves, through Google.com, and now this Chat GBT is putting it into like a personality, right? It's using a voice and it's saying this is what it is. And so either way, people are thinking that this is like something spiritual, like this is above the government, like this is above the people who are here to control you, and it's not. This is their feed. This is this is their upload. This is your upload. So this is giving you back what you gave it. So this is not an intelligence that got all the answers. What happened when we jump into the deep ocean and now the spirit comes in and it's God speaking? And see, that's the agenda. The agenda is no longer listen to your heart. The agenda is no longer listen to your own inner voice. Listen to your own God. That's no longer the agenda no more. The agenda is you don't know a God. You don't have a God. Let me show you who God is. And that's going to be Chat GPT. Can we talk about it? I keep saying Chat GBT. Chat GPT. So the idea that somebody will claim to be spiritually awakened, and this is where it's sad for me at, the fact that people will claim to be in tune, spiritually awakened, but use Chat GPT to decode spirituality, to pass it as I told you so, this is factual, because even Chat GPT is saying it's no, bitch. If it's in a book, Chat GPT got it. If it's on Google, ChatGPT motherfucking got it. Can we talk about it? Like, are people that brain dead? Did COVID eat up people's brain? Is COVID like a parasite that just went through people's, blood and just started sucking up intelligence? It's like, I'm so confused. And there's a particular group of people that are feeding off of this. And they're even saying, this blew my mind, really, really blew my mind, that this is black. This is black intelligence stored into a database, and they're taking black mind, black intelligence, black smartness, and they're using it to feed the world. And I'm just like, baby girl, 10 years ago, about to be 10 years ago next year. Isn't it weird how every decade something changed? 2016, y'all were saying that the white folks had y'all magic, which we've debunked that. And of course, you can look into it historically. Voodoo and stuff, especially going over here in America, is European influenced, right? You go over there to Nigeria, you go over there to Africa, they don't do the same practices that y'all do over here. Can we talk about it? They're not going to be showing what these African American / black so-called voodooists are doing. Even going into the so-called Haitians that are scamming you. And I said so-called Haitians that are scamming because we're not convinced. I mean, some do have videos of stuff them going over there, but at the end of the day, it's like, girl, why are you sharing your family secrets? Your voodoo is your voodoo. Your family's practice is different for the whole world. Yes, there's a system called voodoo, but every person, every family have their own concept and perception of motherfucking voodoo. And that goes even with the South. That goes even with Tennessee. That goes wherever you're at. Okay? It's not the same thing. So that's why I be telling y'all, when these people out here, I'm from Texas, I'm from Oklahoma, I'm from Florida, I'm from Alabama, I'm from Mississippi, but y'all talk about the same hoodoo spells. That's not how the hoodoo in Alabama works. That's not how the hoodoo in Texas work. That's not how the hoodoo or voodoo work over there in Tennessee. That's not how it works. They don't have the same concepts and structures. Can we talk about it? Or y'all don't care about being enlightened. Y'all like being entertained. What they call that? What was that back in the day? The Chitlin circuit. Y'all like being entertained with people with blackface on and shit. That's what it's giving, girl. Circus shit. Freak show shit. Girls out there talking about it. They can do it, and they can't do it. They don't have it. They're still under a system. They're still under a structure that they have to learn how to break down and have to rebel against it. And how you rebel against it is go against everything that you were taught because that was a program. And we're not talking about you being a good person to society. Your parents taught you how to be respectful, loyal, and loving. We're not talking about that. We're talking about a whole nother thing because, people like to misconstrue what the fuck I've been talking about. I don't care. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Just say it. You don't understand, you're not comprehending, just say that. Okay? Don't try to, make people stuck away because I don't. I'm very secure to what I say and how I say things. How I project things, sometimes I'll be like, ooh, but at the end of the day, I'm like, no, girl, sometimes people need that type of teaching because, bitch, they ain't get it from no other place. And I couldn't imagine you being 30 years old and ain't got what you need to get to motherfucking survive this plane. Because all of our mission is to fucking leave here and to elevate. But unfortunately, a lot of you ain't. Unfortunately, a lot of you ain't gonna do that. That ain't gonna happen. You're gonna come back down here, you're gonna do the same thing. That's why you tired of being sick and tired. But even going into that, like I said, this is nothing spiritual. This is not God. This is not our ancestors coming through and say, let me get on ChatGPT and let me talk to my descendants. Girl, y'all are losing your motherfucking mind. So I was like, Beyond the Living Gate is more, it's important. Like, it was important when I first said, let me come out of jail, but like, I feel like it's really important right now. Going into even like tarot cards and stuff, y'all, I told y'all this, everybody's tarot interpretation should be different. Tarot was a game, okay? It was a game. Now, I'm going to let you know this. Because we were going to say, well, a lot of things we did was a game and it turned out to be real. Yeah, because you fed the energy. Just like ChatGPT, right? Just like ChatGPT, just like, any other system, you fed that system your energy. You became a slave to that energy. You fed that machine, and that machine has some type of power. It's not the ultimate power. It's not the strongest power, but it has some type of power. So the same thing with tarot. This is designed for a game. This is a way to display art and be fun. What separates tarot from playing cards is much older. Tarot came around the 1500s, 1400s, late 1400s, early 1500s. Playing cards have been around for a very long time. China, ancient Egypt, and then it got into Europe, and then it came out. And not to just mention that, it was not designed for just games. It was designed originally, it was used for money. People used it for money. It was paper, it was play money. Okay? Real money, it was hard to come by. Certain systems, certain dynasties had control over money. And so playing cards was used as that to exchange. Can we talk about it? Because everybody wasn't able to get a hold of that. And of course, and then it elevated. And so even going into that, people started hiding things in these playing cards, the frequencies, they started using them as interpretations. And what they say, out of sight, out of mind, but in the mind, it will be just fine. Can we talk about it? So when something is thought about, something is created, because it says that everything started in the thought first. And then it became the word, and then the word became something. Can we talk about it? Or is that a little too deep for y'all? And so that's what it has been for playing cards. That's why it's so powerful. This is why it's so direct. And no, you're not taking a chance when you're giving somebody or when you're tapping into playing cards to read. I mean, even going back is even like 50, 60, 70 years ago now, they used playing cards as symbols. It was a secret way to communicate. Like, I'm going to go to this market. I like this person. I think they're magical. How I know that they're magical? I'm going to take the Ace of Diamonds and I'm going to place it at their doorstep. They're going to see me do it. And that's how they're going to know that I'm about business and strictly business. And that's what they did. So like I said, tarot, that's not what they were doing. And so that's what I say. Ain't nobody gonna sit here and tell me that everybody's a motherfucking tarot reader and I'm tapping into spiritual. No, girl, you're playing the game of possibility and probability. And that's okay. That's your business. But when it comes to somebody like me who interprets pure energy, when it comes to somebody like me who interprets, authenticate, and educate, baby, we don't compare. We don't compare, babe. You're a tarot reader. Stay where you're at. Okay, and now we have ChatGPT interpreters Hoes and ass motherfucking spiritualists. Like I said, I told y'all 2017, baby, 2018, 2019. People are infiltrating the systems. They're seeing the concepts. They're seeing the possibilities. They're seeing the elevation of so forth and so forth and so forth. So they're like, let's create astroturfs. Let's create person, place, and things to distract people. Let's make it seem like this person is so knowledgeable, so experienced. Once again, you had all the knowledge, all the wisdom, but you didn't raise your own damn kids. And I know people think that I'm cutting in when I be saying shit like that, but I'm just being real. I'm just being real. Honey, you didn't have your kids. You didn't have your own kids. You didn't raise your children. But now you have the time to help everybody else raise their children, give advice on their kids and shit. And some of these people were not raised by their parents. They're raised by their mama, their auntie. And I know that it has to fuck you up somewhere in the inside. I know that have to make you feel some type of way in the inside. I know it does. Can nobody sit and say, no, that we're adopted, that we're raised by someone else? No, I never think about it. No, it was okay. My mom, it's girl. Come on now, girl. Play with yourself if you want to. That has to make you feel some type of way. And that affects your emotional and your mental body. So like that, it gags me when I'm seeing people out here. Like, so now we have chat GPT interpreters. Now we got spiritual advisors that say, baby, I don't have to tap into the spirits and get downloads from the ancestors and the spirit realm. Let chat GPT, which the elites have fed, by the way. This is not created by a mama and papa. A mama just didn't wake up and say, y'all, I created ChatGPT. Can we talk about it? Who created ChatGPT? Can we talk about it? So they use their information and they say, yeah, these people think they're going to be elevating. These people think they're going to be outdoing us. Because we're getting real spiritual downloads over here, babe. That's what we're doing. During COVID-19, a lot of us are focused on our spiritual bodies. We're focused on our mental health. We're focusing on getting our minds and spirits together. And in that process, real downloads came through. And so that freaked them the fuck out because they're like, oh fuck, what we gonna do? Well, guess what we gonna do? We're gonna put out a system. These people think they're outsmarting. They're going to be feeding this system. They're going to be asking ChatGPT, hey, how to get away with blah, blah, blah. ChatGPT going to say, oh, well, this is how you get away. And then they're going to figure it out. And then they're going to identify because guess what? The phone, your tablet, your computer, whatever you're asking ChatGPT at, it has your location, it has the time, it has all this stuff about you because you have a Google account set up to that phone. So they're going to know when you ask these questions in the region of Baltimore, or we'll say Dorchester, Boston, Massachusetts. We talk about Dorchester. In the middle of Dorchester, the average age that's asking questions about committing bank fraud are between the ages of 18 and 21, and just so happen they are white females. And then guess what? The local law enforcement, the FBI, they take that information, they start to put it into a system, and another AI, which you don't have access to, baby, is going to tell them, yes, 18 to 25, 18 to 27 white females from Dorchester, Massachusetts, baby, are at high risk for committing fraud. And then that's how they're going to speculate and assume what type of crime is going to happen. So y'all got to wake the fuck up. Everybody's so intelligent. Everybody's so spiritually inclined until when it's time for you to actually use what you got to get where you need to get to. Why would they allow for free? Why would they allow easily accessible to the modern day Joe? Just ask yourself this for a quick. I'm not the smartest fucking tool in the toolbox. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box of fucking Crayola. I mean, let's talk about it. Can we talk about it? Hello? But come on now. So they're going to put a program out there that just answer all the questions you want, any questions you want. For you to ask ChatGPT, how can I slap my mom and get away with it? You think ChatGPT is going to say, I'm sorry, I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, I can't give that information. I'm sorry, what are you asking? I'm sorry, I don't understand. Girl, what? And you think can we talk about it? And I said this lightly before, and I'm really gonna be done. Tim, I think it's Tim Norman, Sweetie Pie's son. Sweetie Pie's son. Can we talk about this for a quick minute? We didn't really do a deep dive into this because, but I'm going to tell you what I know, what I feel. Now, we're going to say what I know because, of course, it's a spiritual interpretation and all things are alleged to proven otherwise. It's not for entertainment purposes. It's definitely for educational and enlightenment purposes because that's what we're here for. Phone. And he had this burner phone, and people thought with burner phone, people still think with a burner phone, the police can't see you, they can't read your messages, they can't get in, they can't, hijack your chats and all. That's what people believe, right? They always believe this, right? And I was even watching stuff with WhatsApp the other day, WhatsApp app, where it said, we can't read your messages, nobody can read your messages, not even us. Right? So I'm like, they will have an app on a phone that people could be discussing illegal things through, like human trafficking, drugs, moving drugs, all this other good shit. And they would have it to where not even if the FBI was to confiscate that phone, that they wouldn't be able to pull up records to see what these people are talking about. I don't believe it. Can we see a trial to prove that? Because going even to the burner phone, y'all, when you get a burner phone, a lot of times people are still signing in to their Google accounts. A lot of times people are still accessing their Wi-Fi's. People are still accessing locations. Unless you're getting on that burner phone and you're in the middle of nowhere, you're in a tent somewhere. Nobody sees what you look like, and you access Wi-Fi to stay from Starbucks or something. Unless that's happening where they can't even see you, you can probably get away with what it is that you're doing. But baby, people are getting on apps. People are using locations. People are signing into accounts. People are giving locations away. And all they got to do when they investigate, because that's what they do, it's called investigate, right? They investigate. You logged onto a Starbucks Wi-Fi at 10:30 a.m., right? Can we talk about it? You don't think that they can go to Starbucks and say, can we get footages of 10:30 a.m. on July the 12th? We want to see, because something is going on, and we want to confirm that this is what's going on. Bam. On top of that, can we talk about it? On top of that, you have to sign into, like I said, your Google's account. You got to sign into things on this phone. And you don't have to, but people do it because a burner phone is a burner phone. So the idea that and a lot of times even too, we using like text now and stuff, you got to have like an email, you got to have a number attached to that. So this kind of gave away who and what he is and what he was able to get into. Not only that, I do feel like an informant did come forward and did say some stuff. I do feel that. One kind of blew it. They got the tea and they were like, well, listen, just in case this is a setup for me, let me go forward and let me talk about what I got to talk about. But the bottom line is they were able to get that burner phone and get that burner information to access the messages on that burner phone because of that. And so the same thing with this chat, GPT. Same thing with all these other things, babe. They know it's you asking these questions. You use voice to text, just to kind of throw it out there. You use voice to text. When you're done, Google will say that your audio was stored into a data. Have y'all seen that? Do you know that? When you're using voice to text, especially in an email, but even when you're texting someone, using Google Voice to do voice to text. Hello, excuse me, unless you got an iPhone, there's something that's going on there. Can we talk about it? Android using Google Voice to voice to text. And when you're done, it says audio has been recorded and saved. Who has the audio? Where did the audio go? Where's it stored at? Because it's not stored in my phone. Hello? So this is where they get you at. Same thing with chat. GPT. Y'all don't fall for the okie doke. Don't believe that this system got all the answers and this is end all be all. I don't got to go to church no more. I just ask ChatGPT what happens to the end of days when we all die. Like, girl, Girl, I don't gotta go to the doctor. I asked ChatGPT, how do I cut my umbilical cord? How long does it take for the afterbirth to come out? Come on, hello? I don't gotta go to school to be a mechanic. ChatGPT, the radiator has failed. How do I replace my radiator? Like, girl, hello. But the bottom line to it is, because I know a lot of y'all are fucking scammers. They know a lot of you are fucking fraudulent ass people. And I'm not talking to my people. I'm talking about the haters that be watching and still listening, bitch, because I know it. I know it. Hello? I know it. It's put out there. It's mine. This is my frequency. I know. I know who taps into it. I know who hears it. I know who feels it. I know who. Bitch, what? This is my frequency. This is my frequency, babe. Hello? Bitch, you thought I was a regular smuggler? The fuck? Hello? Can we talk? But they know that you guys are scammers. They know you guys are fraudulent ass charlatans. And so what they do is they're like, well, they're going to be asking us the real shit because we're trying to solve these crimes that we're not solving. We're trying to figure out some shit that we're too lazy. We don't got the manpower. We don't got enough FBI agents. We don't got enough police officers. We don't got enough, criminal analysts. Is that what they call them? Criminal mind analysts. Hello? Behavior specialists. Hello? Can we talk about it? In-demand jobs, by the way. Hello, can we talk about it? And so they're like, oh, yeah, how we gonna get them to tell on themselves? Well, they're already on Facebook and IG showing off their money and shit, their scam money and shit. Money that ain't theirs. They're already doing that anyway. Let's put together a program that they'll get on here and they'll become friends with this program. Hey, ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT. How are you doing today? Hey, ChatGPT. How am I doing today? Hey, girl. Listen. They're gonna start confiding in this artificial intelligence, and guess what? We're gonna be able to log in and figure it out. What are people in LA County asking? What are people in the 424 asking? What are people in the 818 asking? What are people in the 323 asking? What about the 310? Like they're girl, the 949. The girl, listen, they haven't listen, girl. See, the Ring alarms and stuff, girl, was giving them a little bit of access point and shit. The Ring alarms, they were like recording your logins and shit and going into the cams and all that, the Ring cameras and shit. It was picking up like your audio and shit, and it was stored in somewhere. They were able to tap in and get nosy and see what the average American is doing. That's why they'll say 1 in 3 Americans like to party at 9 p.m. That's how they get this shit, girl. They've never done a study on you. They never asked your mama to come and do a study. They never asked your sister, your daddy, your uncle, girl, 5,000 people. And nobody ever got a study done on them. But they say 9 out of 10 Americans like to slap their steak before they cook it. How do you know that? You know how they know? The cameras, the phones, the Googles, the Chat GPTs. Like you said, Chat GB. That just sounds so good, y'all. Chat GBT. Gutter butt tranny. Not bad. I'm sorry. Gutter butt technology. I'm sorry, that just came up, y'all, when I said gutter butt training. I didn't mean to say that. Let's get into it. Let me get. I don't know why it says chat. Why it just said Chat GBT, y'all. It just sounds so good when I say Chat GBT. GBT, girl. Chat GBT. But anyway, y'all, that's all I really want to leave y'all with today, honey. Listen. I thank y'all. I thank my people. I thank you all for your love and support and connection. And, shout out to those who've been taking these classes, baby. We were putting them out like hotcakes. The Angelic Atonement class, let's say this. See, when I recorded these other classes, they were like 30 minutes, 35 minutes. But I guess I put so much stuff in it. Y'all, it was like almost a gigabyte of fucking memory. And, that takes forever to upload. So for the Angelic Atonement, the recording, I'm going to break it up. And so you will get it all at the same time, but I'm going to break it up. So you're going to get like 3 or 4 video links. So that way it's not, it's not taking 30 hours to upload. Because that one video, it took literally, y'all, and my internet, by the way, is 1.5 gigabytes per second. I have 1,500 megabytes. Am I correct? 1,500 megabytes is 1.5 gigabytes. Don't quote me on that. I think it is. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. But either way, 1,500 megabytes per second. So it's pretty fast. But it still took YouTube a long time, and I feel like YouTube be nosy too. They be like, "What she got going up in this video that's so long? What is this? What's in this 45-minute video? Let's see what's going on." So while they uploading it, they scanning it, they picking up audio. They want to stay up. They want to make sure I'm not talking shit about certain things. That's the thing, girl. We might be coming out with a Patreon. I don't know. I'm not really a fan of that. You know, we're gonna talk about. I don't care for OnlyFans. I don't care for Patreon. But I mean, who knows? Because girl, we want to. I like to talk about. I like to listen. There's some things I want to talk about that I know YouTube ain't gonna allow me to talk about. Can we talk about it very quickly? So the other day, y'all, by the way, things are about to get a little crazy. And that's all I'm gonna say right there, you know, because I know they still stop by every now and then, and girls, so we ain't gonna give them shit so they can. Well, things are about to get a little crazy. Things are about to be topsy turvy and everything in the motherfucking derby. Can we talk about it? Everything in the motherfucking derby. Hello, can we talk about it? Shout out to my Kentucky brothers and sisters out there, Kentuckians. How y'all doing? But anyway, so I was minding my business and, you know, just, you know, being me. And then one of my people said, "Hey, you know, just so you know, Tom, Dick, and Harry was like bringing you up." And I said, "Really? Who the fuck is Tom, Dick, and Harry?" And of course, I really forgot about these people because they don't be on my radar. And I'm just booked and busy, you know, doing what I'm called to do. My life mission: help, heal, and support others, you know, in their emotional, spiritual, and mental transition. Come on, elevation. Can we talk about it? Ascension. Can we talk about it? And so either way, call me the spiritual doula, by the way. You know, hello, shout out to my paternal. My mother's father's mother side of family, girl. They it's a whole bunch of midwiferys on there, girl. One of the first organizations to be established in motherfucking America. Can we talk about it? Of the doula. So call me the spiritual doula. Hello. Can we talk about it? Hello. Anyway, so they were just going on and on and on. And I told y'all this, right? Can we talk about it very quickly? Can we talk about it very quickly, y'all? Because y'all, I don't really talk about my life. But, well, I do. But we don't really get deep. But we're going to get into some deep tea. So, my mother, back in the 70s and the 80s, helped her man at the time sell drugs. She was a drug dealer. He was one of the biggest drug dealers in California, right? Her baby father at that time. Let's talk about it. And it changed, right? When she started having kids. And so I don't know how people took that story and made it say that my mom was an addict. I mean, girl, they were just saying all this shit. And I'm just like, if my mom was the addict, none of her kids are addicts. If she was an addict, all her kids are successful. They're happy. They're healthy. They're business owners. Hello, they pay taxes. Some of them probably went to prison for other things, but that's what it is. Can we talk about it? And so either way, it was just this conversation. And I'm just like, so what's really going on though? Because I haven't been around these people. So why am I still the topic of conversation? We know why. When you're the baddest bitch, when that energy is, you know, because I'm not a Leo, but I have that Leo energy. Can we talk about it? Because there's a lot of ones around me, baby. And there is Leo on my chart in a very special place. So I have that Leo energy when I step into a room, baby. And I could be covered up like a nun and motherfuckers still want a piece of this. And I'm not being cocky. I'm being very humble. So when I step into an internet platform or any type of thing and I'm having conversation, just a regular conversation, girl, I'm different. I approach people different. I'm not out here to talk about girls are horny. They ask you how big your dick is. They want to see your dick pictures. They want to pay you money for that. I don't step and approach men like that. I don't do that. And so I come a little different and I'm offering spiritual conversations. And what are you doing with your life? And, you know, you could be blah, 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 blah. So the men are like, damn. So then, of course, the girls who pay for their looks, who invested all this money into their body, by the way, it looked botched as fuck, but everybody got somebody who liked them, girl. I mean, y'all see it, girl. Some people looking like gremlins and shit, and they still get me in that like that. So I ain't judging it. Everybody likes something, honey. But they be feeling like, girl, I got to have one up over this girl because, you know, she's not like, girl, I put 200K in my face. She done put it in her face. So what's going on? And then I got to let it be known constantly. And then so either way, I'm just like, it's so crazy how you don't deal with people. You just stay in your lane, you mind your business. They resurrect you, because there's a reason why I was telling y'all this outside of what I'm saying now, but we're going to leave that there. Because, bitch, like I said, things about to get a little cray day lay lay. Can we talk about it? Cray day lay lay. Hello? okay? Because I'm about that life, okay? Hello. A lot of people be acting like they're about that life. I am about that life, babe. We take it to the spirit first, though. Can we talk about it? And so either way, this bitch, Frankenstein. Oh, that's how I was going with it. There we go, because Frankenstein popped up again. So I was like, Miss Thing, and girl, she's giving her little reads, but girl, I'm cutting this girl deep. But girl, you look like a man still. You look like the male Ken doll. That's what you look like. You're giving Ken doll vibes, girl. You're not giving Barbie at all. You look like a gremlin Ken doll. You look like a 6'4" Martian, the bitch off of Mars Attacks, bitch. 6'4". Think you look like a Barbie girl. You don't. You look like a Ken doll. You look like a gremlin one at that. Girl, the forehead is still big. The brow bone is still big. You're 6'4". You're built like a wrestler. That's okay. And there's girls who are tall, but they're not built like wrestlers. Can we talk about they're like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", and they're still built soft, feminine, and splinter. But this thing right here, girl, she's built like Andre the Giant. And I'm not joking. Could you imagine Andre the Giant? Or no, she looked like Andre the Giant, but she's built like Undertaker and Kane. Could you imagine Undertaker, Kane, and Andre the Giant with breast implants and a hair transplant? I mean, excuse me? And girl, you're a cunt and you're 50. And mind you, you still have a male ID. You still have a male legal name. When you go to this club and shit, they stir you and you be like, oh, it's okay. Or they be like, sir, ma'am. You're like, oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. Because, I still am a male technically. What? And you think you're competing with me? Hello? You think we're in competition? Baby, even when they made it illegal for transgenders to use the woman's restroom, I still use her nurse, bitch. And I'm going to do it until the day I motherfucking die. Arrest me, baby. Arrest me, honey. Can we talk about it? Hello? Can we talk about it? Bitch, ID me, unclothe me, bitch. I can use that bathroom. I'm not playing, girl. We're not gonna be, girl. The fuck? Girl, you still wear boxers. You wear boxers under that lingerie. How, bitch, the audacity. So anyway, y'all. So I'm like reading this girl down and calling her Frankenstein and botched and joystick boobs. She got bigger boobs and they're built like joystick shit, y'all. They look like Xbox One controllers and shit. I'm like, ooh, girl, ouch. That look like that shit's painful, girl. It look like they put bricks in the chest, not implants. I'm like, ooh, girl, ouchie, ow, ow. Ooh, think about it, just make me. So y'all, right when I said Frankenstein looking blue, I got dropped. So I'm thinking the person, people dropped me or whatever. They didn't. I get back up and mind you, I was talking about the, her titties look whatever. I guess I wasn't sensitive enough. When I started saying she was built like Frankenstein and the forehead is boxy and it's still giving Hemlock Grove and she's giving some type of lizard shit, like, girl. It just kept muting. It kept dropping. There was connection issues. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? But that app, that's what they do. They mute you. That app, even if you type certain stuff, they won't let you say transsexual, homosexual. You got to say rainbow. Girl, you can't type none of that. You can't say nothing like that. You can't even curse, y'all. You can't even say bitch. Motherfucker, you can't say none of that. You got to use other words like birther taker or something like, girl, you invent your own shit. I think I called a motherfucker a birther taker or something like that. And then what was it for bitch? I say you four-legged female dog. And then what was the other one? When I say transsexual or tranny, I think I say transmission. I think that's what I say, or Transcepticon. It's something like that. I say one of those, honey. And maybe I use it interchangeably, girl. Listen, we got into a real big technological reading session, girl, last year. Girl, it was like a paragraph of a reading session. I wanted to call this girl so bad she wasn't answering that phone. I was emailing, I was calling from other numbers. She wouldn't answer the phone. So I said, baby, we're about to have a technological read down, baby. I'm sitting there typing everything. You transmission converter. And girl, I was going in because, if you put the other shit, they won't let it go through. So you got to go through and edit everything. I said, no, babe, we're going to be cute. So, of course, the bitch was like, transmission converter. What the fuck is a birther taker? Yeah, baby, you got it. You know what the fuck it was. Honey, put two and two together. So anyway, that's how it is with these apps, girl. You can't really say what you say and say what you feel, and girl, and say it freely. So, bitch, you got to be cute and decode. You got to decode shit and code shit up and all that. Girl, hello? Anyway, y'all, let me go. Two-spirit-mystery.blogspot.com, two-spirit-mystery.gmail.com. Be out of the gate, y'all. Listen, it wasn't going to be back that soon. It was not going to be back that soon. Damn. But I got to come out. We got to do it. We got to tap in, girl, because the girl, listen, their goal is to really dumb y'all the fuck down. Their goal is to keep y'all spiritually detached. Their goal is to deem you mentally insane. So when time do come, they can lock you up. And guess what? The average Joe's going to say, lock her up. Do you know that we practice magic in secrecy? Not because we're afraid of being hunted down and taken out in that sense, but because people were waging war against us. They were making laws. They were making things illegal. And no, you cannot use that. You can only have this and that. And then it became acceptable and they started changing rules when they noticed that this was people's way of life. But guess what? Even when there's openness and freedom, there's still some type of restriction. So like I said, they're going to deem that shit real, that shit easily accessible. This is what everybody can do. Why do you need to go over there to Madam Padma when you can go over here to Chat GBT? I keep saying Chat GBT. Maybe because I'm thinking of EBT. I don't know. Chat EBT. You go over there to Chat EBT. You go over there to Chat GBT. I really gotta go, y'all. Look, you can go over there and and you get all your you get all your knockoff government assistant spiritual needs, girl. You get all your spiritual interpretations at chatgpt.com, girl. Listen. You don't gotta worry about the government. Girl, listen, ask ChatGPT anything about your government. Don't worry about it. You won't get caught. It's only between you and spirit. Whatever you ask ChatGB, whatever, girl, ChatGG. We're gonna call it ChatGG. Whatever you ask ChatGG, okay, whatever you ask her, you don't gotta worry about her telling anybody. That's between you, her, and you. Can we talk about it? Before you know, bitch, they're gonna start knocking on that door. You're gonna start getting advertisements sent to your house and shit. Wait a minute, I was just asking Chat Gigi about this. How did she pop? How did this come through like that? What is right? Girls talk about they getting headaches and shit. Girl, they said, girl, the spirits are attaching. One of the girls said she got a cough that wouldn't go away. I'm just like, girl, what type of salesperson? Like, what type of salespeople are these people? Like, it gives me the this is my song, J. Joe's Happy People. It gives me the aliens over there in Miami, girl. Ain't no way y'all thought that shit was real. Ain't no way. Listen, do anybody, and maybe before I get into that down the line, does anybody know anybody or was any of you guys at the mall when it happened, when the aliens showed up at Miami? Like, girl, how crazy is it that the cops asked, like, wait, hold on. So there was only like 50 people. Listen, it takes 30 cops to manage one person, right? I mean, let's talk about real shit, especially over here in California. They pull you over, it takes like 6 cops to pull you over. So y'all had this place, it was like what, 20 people? I know it was more than that, but I'm saying it was 20 people. So the cops were able to stop everybody, surround them all, and say, before y'all leave out, we need y'all phones. We need to verify. We need to verify that you guys don't have footages of these aliens. Girl, what? And they got videos of, mind you, they got videos out here of police brutality. Why didn't the police destroy that footage? Hello? That can get them fired and put in prison forever. Why would they be concerned about you having footage of, and then like I said, everybody? And then none of y'all were smart enough to have the shit backed up and texted, send it through an email and delete it out very quick. I mean, Make it make sense. And then also going into something that's traumatizing. Could you imagine? I'm just talking about from a psychological standpoint. When something traumatic happens, or it puts you in a deep, like a disbelief, you become shocked. And when you become shocked, you become numb. So you become physically numb, spiritually numb, or emotionally numb. The idea that these people remember verbatim this traumatic experience, it's crazy to me. And then I think they have people coming on the internet and shit and telling y'all, if you give me to like 3,000 likes, I'll tell you the rest of the story. Or if you give me $1,000, blah, blah. Like, girl, $3,000. What? What? That's the say, girl, listen. They don't have to do anything. They don't got to put nobody in no FEMA camps, girl. Y'all going to make y'all way over there yourselves. They don't got to listen. They don't gotta do roundabouts and mark y'all house up and come and get y'all, and do martial law and come and, take y'all somewhere and hide y'all. They don't gotta do that. Y'all gonna walk yourself there. Mark my word. They don't gotta do that work. They don't got that manpower to do all that, girl. Y'all gonna find your way there. You're gonna walk there yourself. That's the type of energy we're seeing right now. People are not using their heads. Everybody's so spiritual. I'm in tune. I'm an empath. I'm intuitive. I know spirit told me that. Girl, bullshit. You married a bum. You live like a bum. All your friends are bum. You ain't got shit. But you're intuitive. You're empath. Oh yeah, I'm so empathic. So baby, let's figure out how you're gonna become victorious. Then if you're so empathic and you keep attracting these narcissistic ass people, then let's go ahead and build you up. Then let's make you stronger. But instead, you don't want that. You know what you want? It's talk about how empathic you are and how abused you are and how neglected you are. Like I said, girl, that's the average person's story, girl. But I'm like, girl, anyway, let me get up out of here, y'all. Love and light, your spirit, Mr.Blogs.com, honey. Shout out to those who be lurking in the shadows, honey. I'll be back in later, y'all. Like I said, twospiritmystic.blogspot.com, 28spirit@mystic@gmail.com. And if you sign up for the angelic atonement class recording, you'll be getting it tomorrow. Yes, honey, like I said, it's going to be into multiple parts. And definitely give me feedback. I love it, honey. Shout out to my people, my supporters, my contributors, my gifters, and definitely my fellow mystics, y'all. Bye for now.